is going on? Simmer Down live again from the beautiful Asheville, North Carolina Salvage Station. I got Mr. Gary Dredd from the Movement in the house. What up?
Blessed love. Big ups. Grateful to be here.
Dude, we're so happy to have you. First of all, if you know Gary, the first thing you're ever going to hear is, ease. Tell us about that. Where did that come from?
I get asked this a lot. Actually, in the reggae culture, it's a thing, when you get excited. And I grew up in Philadelphia. And whenever me and my DJ friends would go to a reggae dance hall, we would, it actually started with easy when the song's so good and the vibe's so heavy. And then when you get extra excited, we took the Y off and ease, But it's done a lot. I didn't create it or anything. It's all over the reggae world. Even back in the 80s, when a song was so big, you hear people back then screaming "ease," just getting hyped. But yeah, it turned into being like a greeting now too, because every time I see friends and family on the road, it's your hype,
That's the thing, it's you have a catchphrase and a hello, I'm Gary. Ease. So, you guys, if you're just tuning in, you're late. It's all good. We got Gary Dredd from the Movement in the house. We're stoked for this show tonight, man. But I really want to dive back a little bit before we go forward. I've never asked you, how did this whole music thing start with you? Let's go way back.
Sounds good. Actually, my father's a jazz musician. He was born in 1925, so he's 96, still alive, still playing, still up, full, and healthy, thank Jah, But he grew up in the Harlem jazz scene and then also in Philly, and his brother was a jazz piano player who actually used to compose, Calvin Jackson used to compose tons of shows, it was a producer back in the day and did his own works. He actually has albums out in Canada and all over. He traveled all over. So in the household, that was my roots as a kid. And then Jay Smiles, bass player of the Movement, we've been playing since we were 12, 13 years old out of high school and played every kind of music. Growing up in Philly, we had, everything from punk rock to hardcore, metal, classic rock, reggae, everything. So I guess that was the OG roots of just being exposed to a big melting pot of culture and music, So yeah, being a drummer, growing up, and the city was filled with amazing artists and seeing shows come through all the time. We were, as kids, inspired, in the 90s.
I mean, he's just musical. If you're musical, you're musical. And if your family's not, then you find it and you're musical. It's how it goes. So, not to go deeper, but a little deeper, your band, The Movement, has done some and been through some huge ups and huge downs. Yeah. And you guys are, it's like one of the only bands that have gone through what you've gone through and just risen to the top. How did you get through all of that stuff? I can't say the other word, but how did you get through that time? How did you do that?
I guess the biggest thing is, regardless, even before I was playing with the Movement, I've always known in my head that music's just always going to be part of my life. So, I guess when we started with the Movement, we've had a bunch of member changes, ups and downs of everything. And I guess to summarize everything, once everybody was able to kind of get a better focus and live a healthier lifestyle, I think that was a big change in, because obviously before you put on a guitar or you sit behind a drum kit, your body is the musical instrument. If you're not taking care of that, then you're not going to be able to convey through your physical instrument. So I feel the better you take care of yourself and, attitude, mental, physical, everything, which we all work hard on trying to be a better version of ourselves every day. I think that's really what, even when we did the album Golden, it was kind of like the first time in a recording situation where instead of it being a party and let's drink and do that, and we really went in just clear-headed, no substances, nothing, just really focusing on the music. And I think that was also not only healing the people with music, was healing ourselves. So I think, just to answer the question, I feel that was the only way we were able to rise from, the chaos of everything we were all going on individually and together as a band. So, yeah, just everybody who's listening, take care of yourself.
I mean, you hear it all the time. You can't help anybody else until you truly help yourself, and that resonates to and I don't call them fans, the family, and everybody can feel that. And what you guys do and what you project, they look up to you. You know what I mean? So that can help so many other people too. You got to grow up if you're gonna do this. Perfect example here with the movement. If you're gonna do this and do it right and do it in longevity, you got to keep everything correct and healthy. Very important. Moving on. So we have a new record coming out.
Yeah, we're excited.
Tell me about this new record. July 29th. It's like coming up, man. Tell us about the record.
I had to throw one in. Yeah, we're really, really excited. Speaking of, being in the studio and everything during the pandemic, we didn't see each other for like a year. I didn't see a lot of people, even some my mom, my dad, tough times for everyone. So with that going on, it took about maybe early, I think it was 2021, January, we all got in the studio for 2 weeks and recorded about 22 songs, which we were thinking maybe we'll do a double album or just we were in love with them all. But we trimmed them down to, I think, about 14 songs. And that's Always With Me. Yeah, coming out in a week from today. So we're super excited,
Definitely. So this record, you've released a few singles. I think every record for any artist is an evolution of the sound, but the key is to evolve but still keep the sound. Can you tell us about what we can expect on this record, aside from the singles that have been released?
That's so funny, too, because literally we were talking about it a little bit ago. We had a little meet and greet, and they were asking about the album. And I always, every band that I've ever loved, or just, I would always... you find out about a band and there's always those people, I like them, but, just their first album, because that's what you grew to love them as. And sometimes some bands will just stay in that same formula, but we just always, we listen to so many things and get so many different inspirations and moods. And just us as different minds, we have different things to our individual selves that we want to cater to. So we really don't have any rules in the studio. If it's like, I come up with this idea, we're not going to like tear you down and be like, I'm not feeling it. We'll work with it and fuse it into something we're all happy with. So I think that's, but yeah, this new album goes, you got a pinch of everything we're about and also just new stuff that we're never afraid to experiment, even if it doesn't really match the album flow, we kind of just throw it in there and make it glue together. But yeah, the album's all over the place, but we're hoping everybody loves the vibe,
Everybody loves the movement vibe. Come on now. I mean, so happy for you guys, man. Like, all these artists over the years, from Stick Figure and that whole empire, to you guys, to, Aya, to Bumpin', who's here, the Hip Abduction, everybody, all my favorites are excelling and thriving. And it's so cool to see you guys just happy and doing your thing. So Always With You.
Always with me.
Always with me. So they're always with me, apparently. Always With Me. July 29th. Check it out at movementvibe.com for more info. Moving on, you have a solo project and you're non-stop with it. Tell us about it.
Yeah. When we're not on the road, I'm constantly building and writing. during the pandemic, I've been doing, I think this was my 7th or 8th album that I dropped. Yeah, and I, when we're not on the road, I just constantly building, writing, and I started Move Forward around 2 years ago, right when pandemic hit, and right when everything was on lockdown. Just with all that time, I just went to work and was recording, and Ian Young actually mixed and mastered it, you know. Yeah, but big general, big ups Ian, Imperial Sound. My good friend Rick Hayes, too, big hand in helping me with the record. And then tons of producers from all over. Have Turbulence and Josh Heinrichs on the album, too, so big generals. So, yeah, if you get a chance, check that out. Move Forward, out now.
And you're always so positive, man. Like, all your lyrics, even when you're coming up on stage and collaborating, it's all good, guys. You know, we're just having a good time. We're having a good time here with Gary Dredd from The Movement. Ease. I love that, man. It's just so cool to have your little... Yeah, it does, man. So one more question here for you, man. You know, I've never gotten to interview you before because when I met you, I was more in the tour manager thing. But now, finally back. It's been a pleasure, man, and I can't wait to see the show tonight. Everybody, go check out a Movement show, July 29th, always with me. it's everybody, always with me. July 29th is the name of the new record. It's coming out. You better check it out. The Movement is up, all the way up, and they will continue to do that because they're doing the right things. Remember, support the artists that you love. I'm saying that in every single interview now. And remember, it's not an interview, it's a conversation. Gary, what does reggae mean to you?
Yes. Reggae to me, right off the bat as a kid, I can remember my first experience. My uncle gave me a copy of Bob Marley's Uprising record. And I think I was probably 14 or 15. And on vinyl, put it on the vinyl. You know, we had vinyl, and my dad was old school. We had 8-track, all that. But I put it on vinyl, and I listened to the whole record just sitting in my room one day on like a sunny day. And I was, you know, as a kid, you know, because I listened to a lot of like heavier stuff being a drummer when I was a kid. And it just hit me like kind of, you know what I mean? Even though it's a slow tempo, it just hit me like no other. There was like a sacred, spiritual kind of vibe. So I guess the question of what does reggae mean to me, it's almost like gospel to me, you know, because right around when I heard that Uprising was right when I got this book called Kebra Nagast, you know, which is means King of Kings, and was reading into Rastafari and just like the essence of, you know, learn about His Majesty, and just so I was getting into that before I even really knew reggae music. So hearing reggae music and them singing about His Majesty and, you know, universal love for all creation, and just like, you know, some bands will just or some genres will just, it'll be a song with no substance, but reggae music just had this like gospel spiritual vibe to it. So that's what reggae music to me is, you know. And then there's so many different forms now too, whether they're singing about, you know, His Majesty or just, you know, I love lovers rock reggae too. I love dancehall, roots, dub. But yeah, reggae music to me is just powerful strength, life music, real, you know?
Reggae music is more than music. It's something that we like to call our own as a family.
Heartbeat music.
Yeah, the heartbeat. Hey, the heart's starting to beat faster. We got a show coming up. Gary, thank you so much. Let's tell him ease into the camera one more time. Ready?
Yes.
You listen to Simmer Down 90.3 The Rock with Gary Dredd and The Movement.
Yeah, so quiero sentir el movement.